Welcome back, all our 40k fanatics out there. I'm DJ.
I'm Lane.
And we're here with Tim's Nation to bring you another Warhammer 40k battle report. This one, my list at least, is heavily influenced from the comment section because a lot of people said, I hate these models. I just don't want to watch them die. So I'm bringing back some damage here. And I'm bringing my robots. And Lane brought Votann.
I did.
Which, I'll no discredit to the Votann. There are definitely some Votann fans out there, especially of your armies.
Yeah, no, and I definitely think your list is going to be less likely to die as quickly as the last one did. Although you did win last week's game.
I did.
But at what cost? At what cost?
It costs everything. Yep. And anyone who doesn't know, I'm a huge Thanos fan, so I mean that all fits. But regardless, as always, guys, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the bell to get notified on all the content that we bring you here on the channel, including our army descriptions, where we go into a bigger detail on the armies we brought today. So, quickly, the reason for my list. Number one, a lot of people said, like, I don't want to paint a model just to watch it die. Because my army plays very much on, here is 40k, here is scoring points, here's how I'm going to win the game. I think I have a good formula. It is a very strong formula, but it isn't a very fun formula. And this, I enjoy it. I enjoy the cerebral aspect of it, so I do have fun with it, but I can see how others might not. With that being said, I love my robots. So any excuse to try and make robots relevant, and honestly, I have won these. This is the unit. These robots are what I have won GTs on the back of their shoulders. Over Grey Knights, over Necrons. I have won with Necrons, but the Castellan robots are the most premier for me as far as winning in tournaments. So I love the opportunity to bring them back. Second was actually a point that Lane brought up during a conversation, which is my last army takes a while to get through everything.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of shooting that didn't really produce a whole lot of results.
But I have to roll it.
You got to roll it out in case something does get through. And then, of course, your pre-movement phase. You took like 20 minutes to set up your army, and then another 15 minutes in your redeploy because you redeployed and scout moves and stuff. Yeah, you wouldn't have much time left on the clock if you're using the clock.
No. And that is definitely a very serious concern. So, yeah, that's me and the reason for my list. Lane, you got to have at least some reason why you wanted to bring Votann today.
Yeah, last time I brought my Votann, it was a high volume of fire list. This is going to have less volume of fire, just some more durable and chunky units. So we got 2 hecatons this time with their 2-up save, 16 wounds, toughness 12. Nice and durable. Plus I've got 20 of the Einherjar Hearthguard, the little baby Terminators. Those guys are pretty tough to kill as well. And they've got their 2-up saves, and when they're led by a character, they're neg 1 to wound. So I'm going to make it even more difficult for DJ to kill me. It's going to be a tough matchup. I think we're both going to have a lot left on the table. We both have a lot of durability.
Yes, we do. Yeah. We have a lot of durability. So, but with that being said, we can jump over into the lists. And for this matchup, one thing that is interesting, that I need to remember and fix from previous games. I'm sorry, I spoke that terribly. I know English. English is first language.
Try
it. Right. Use take 2. When in my previous games, there was one mistake I made with the marshals. Marshals attached to a unit with scout, they're not allowed to scout. So in our matchup, now it didn't play into, I looked back over our last game, that didn't play out into a factor into it too much because I was already moving these units, like they were moving from one floor to the next floor. So it wasn't as big for them. But in the future, I can't scout the marshal unit because the marshal doesn't have scout.
Right.
So that was something, I just wanted to throw that out there as a correction in case anyone else was looking at that going, oh, this is really cool. Yeah, you cannot, unless the entire unit, every model in it has scout, they can't scout. Now the enhancement is different. The enhancement gives all the models scout and infiltrate. But this one did not. Wanted to clear that up just in case, because that's very important. I don't want to mislead and start scouting marshals all over the place. Right. All right. Enough said. Lane, what do you got?
All right, today's Leagues of Votann list. We've got 2 Einherjar champions, one of which has the Grim Demeanor enhancement that lets me ignore modifiers. That one will be the one with the Stag Crest model, the limited edition model. Moving down the line, we have 1 10-man squad of Hearthkin warriors with all the bips and bops on them. 4 Sagittars with the high las beam cannons. We've got 2 5-mans of the Chthonian Berserks with plasma axes. We've got 3 squads of the Einherjar Hearthguard. So one 10-man brick has the Edekarn plasma guns and the concussion gauntlets. We've got 2 5-mans that'll be riding in the Hecatons. They have the Vulcanite guns and then the plasma blades. Then we've got the 2 Hecatons. Hecatons, the only thing that's not WYSIWYG on this list is both Hecatons are using the SP Heavy conversion beamer. One of them is modeled with a Magna Rail. It doesn't have that. So both are SP conversions and bolt cannons all around. All right, DJ, what are you bringing today?
So as I said, we're changing this up and we're going over to the cybernetic cohort. So that means Castellan robots. So in this list, we still have the 2 Onager Doom Crawlers, which have the Neuron Laser. Got it right this time. We have 3 single Dragoons. I have 2 4-man squads of Castellan robots and 1 2-man squad. 2-man squad has twin link fists. The 2 of the 4-mans are all guns, twin link cannons. And the other 4-man is going to be split between twin link fists and twin link cannons, all of which will have a data smith with them. Then we also have a engine seer because fixing doom crawlers. We have a techno archaeologist because blocking out 12 inches. 2 5-man squads of infiltrators, and I believe making a debut in 10th edition on the channel, Belzerius Call.
Who?
Exactly. And when I first told Lane, I'm like, I am bringing Belzerius Call today. He laughed and said, why? And there actually is a very good reason. The Dark Shroud. Dark Angels have been having success right now with lists based around vehicles that run the Dark Shroud. The Dark Shroud is cheaper than Belzerius Call, but it doesn't have loan up, and it also doesn't hit quite. I think it doesn't hit quite as hard as Call can hit. So that's my thought. Is okay. Maybe that -1 to hit aura might need a second looking at. Not to mention as well the fact it's not just a -1 to hit aura. He also has reroll 1s to hit and something for the battle shock test. But I'm not really going to sacrifice an entire ability like that for battle shock. Epic foreshadow watch. I go, you know what? I'm going to use this now. And haha, I win the game. That's how it always plays out. You say something and you're like, when am I ever going to use that? And you're flipping through, you're like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And that's going to work. I am concerned with this list moving forward on how much I give up on stacked secondaries. I've said this a couple of times, said this in my video, because I give up 32 points on Bring It Down and 24 on Assassinate. So a heavily damage-dealing army could just take those 2 and score on secondaries just by clearing me. However, that Assassinate number puts me at close to tabling. So I'm always fine with sitting at a secondary point like that says, okay, yeah, you can max out your secondary, but that means you're tabling me. Because
I'd be all right with tabling. I would feel okay with that.
You know,
I'm say it like it's a bad thing.
I'm trying to have a serious conversation, trying to have a good time here, and you got to go and do this. You got to go and do this every time. Every time.
I don't think I'm going to.
No game.
You can come back.
Just kidding. We need this.
I don't think I'm going to take fixed because I think it'll be more interesting if I take tactical. If I ran into this list in a tournament, I probably would take fixed, just because anything you put out there basically scores my points. Almost the entire army is vehicles or characters. So
it allows you to play the game just on primaries.
I think it'd be more interesting if I played tactical and I got to use the Sagittars and the guys inside them to go out and do actions, get places, that sort of thing. I think it'll make for a more entertaining game and a better test of my list.
Yeah. I mean, I might in the future, after seeing some of the stuff, I might tweak down some of the vehicles, try and bring that number a little lower than 32. It's a little heavy. Again, if you have to table me to max out secondaries, then probably in tactical, if you're tabling me, you're probably maxing out points anyways. So I'm not as concerned with that if my numbers are at the point of tabling. I'm not as upset about the 24 on characters. I could probably drop the techno archaeologist, but I like him in there as just like the easy off button to things that can drop within 3 inches, since he can deny that out with the 12-inch force. So I like that. Easy unit to put on the backfill objective. Also very easy to pick up because he doesn't have blown up. So, you have indirect fire and bye-bye. I'm pretty sure he's like a 3-wound toughness 3 model.
Oh, yeah. We'll see if the grenade launchers on the Berserks can do it, because they have indirect fire.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. I just brought that up, and Lane's like, oh, yeah.
We'll see if they're relevant. Yeah.
All right. So I get to roll the dice because I did win our last meeting with the AdMech. Beautiful matchup. Beautiful. I'm proud of that game. I'm very proud of that game. That was a cerebral one. All right, Lane. Out or even?
Evens.
That isn't even.
Two.
You was stopped by your own little piece of terrain. So you will get to pick. Do you want to deploy first or second?
You have infiltrators that infiltrate?
I do have infiltrators that infiltrate.
You know, I'll have you drop first.
Okay, do you have infiltrators that infiltrate?
No infiltrating infiltrators, but I do have 4 Sagittars and they all have scout moves.
Ah, scouts moves. So you have scouts that can scout. Also, as well, before we jump over into it, everyone will get to see this. We did reset the table. We listened to the comment section. Just took us a little bit of time because Lane found these absolutely beautiful mouse pad-like squares to have the templates. So those we'll get to show off today. Like them. I love them. I will definitely, I plan on getting a set of these too. They are great. They made for measuring out the table to a Games Workshop style and putting the terrain on it. Super, super fast. I was able to do it very quickly. Love these things. Highly recommend them. Even if you can't get these things, cutting these things out to cardboard and having them, I mean, I highly suggest these for everybody at all points. Because now, like we said, we were able to move the terrain to do this. We can move the terrain when we're moving models and get it right back where it's supposed to be. I absolutely love these things. I think they're a necessity for playing 40K, even casually now.
Yeah.
So that
especially if you want to play, especially if you want to play competitively, you want to make sure you're using templates in your practice. And even if you just get a big piece of felt at the craft store and cut it into sections, that'll work. But these are all nice because they look like ruins and walls and bricks and stuff. So.
I like them. I love them. They look great. So, all right, all that's left, deploy some armies. So we will be back after deployment. All right, we are deployed. So take a minute and look. These are those templates we were talking about. So these are the bases and templates that they say for runes. So you can tell if we're off them, behind them, and how that's all lined up. And then we have all just the beautiful, what's this terrain called? What's this terrain set? Is there an actual name for it other than just like Rune Cityscape?
Yeah, I forget. It's got a name.
Okay, well, we'll say Rune Cityscape.
I've forgotten, though.
For all intents and purposes, we're only going to be using the bottom floor of this building, but it just looks so cool. Could not have it on there. So when you're wondering why we're not going up to the top and taking aspect of plunging fire, there is a reason why. Now, before we start the game, this is the moment in time. If you've seen my preview army video, you've seen that I put a little message there. And when I talked about this video, I just put a message there because, reading is hard. And I just read Belzeri's Call again. He does not give me an aura of -1 to hit. No, he gives me my aura for cover. So we're rolling with it. We'll see if that can still be functioning, but that's definitely a lot less impressive than what the Dark Shroud does. So yeah, my bad. Helps if you actually read the rule all the way out. And he does not actually give me the -1 to hit. So sorry about that. But at least we found that out before the game started. And we'll get call on the table for the game. All right, Lane, tell me what we're doing.
So today we are playing Warhammer. The deployment is Dawn of War. So this is the hot dog style deployment. Or as I like to say it, the way God intended us to play Warhammer. Or at least the way I started playing back in 2nd edition in the 90s. So, and then our mission special rule is delayed reserves. This only really affects 1 unit. I have something in Deep Strike. I have a 10-man Brick of Hearthguard in Deep Strike. But if I try to bring them in turn 2, I need to roll a D6. And they only come in if I roll 3 up, I think. Yeah, and then our mission is Purge the Foe. One of my favorite ways to play. You get 4 points if you hold an objective. You get 4 more points if you hold more objectives than your opponent. Then you get 4 points if you kill one of your opponent's units, and another 4 points if you kill more units in the battle round. So it's hold 1, hold more, kill 1, kill more.
Yeah. So once again, I do apologize that I misread that rule, but now we got it before the game. And I know that it's already in my mind that when I go to edit some of these other videos, I will have already made a note in there of, yep, here's where I messed up. So with that being said, on to deployments. Given the fact that Call is still a beacon of auras, I still centralize my entire army back here around Belzeri's Call. So one of his aura effect is the benefit of cover, and it just requires a unit to be within 6 inches. So everybody over here will at least receive the benefit of cover, which will be helpful against everything except the hackathons. Over here, these robots are hanging out in the terrain, out of line of sight of pretty much everything. Nothing really can draw a shot on them, pretty sure, until they move out, just to keep them safe for turn 1. And then Dragoon back here to run out and play secondaries. These robots here to start looking at that objective. Doom crawlers to point on that objective over there, as well as that one down there. And robots to join them as well. We have the engines here hanging out back here too to start fixing some vehicles. And then on the left flank, we put the infiltrators down out of line of sight right here. Behind the template so they cannot be seen. These ones that are on the template though, it is first floor blocking for these pieces, and they're far enough away from this opening right here to not get shot at. And they're in position to be able to make an assault on this objective as the game continues on. Lane has some stuff over there we're going to talk about in a minute, so I felt like I needed both of them over here, as well as 2 solo Dragoons to help with that secondaries and help keep everything going on. So Lane, what do you got? And let's start over here with, like I said, there is threats among us.
So I put the Sagittars kind of out in the open because they all do have a 6-inch scout move. So if I don't go first, I can redeploy them more defensively. So they're all ready to go. So this Sagittar has Berserks in it. This Sagittar has Berserks in it. This Hecaton has a 5-man of Hearthguard with the Volkite guns. We've got a Sagittar with some Hearthkin in it. Then we've got another Hecaton that has a 5-man Hearthguard with an E-Champ in there. And on the very end, one more Sagittar with some Hearthkin.
All right. Like I just said, that was the big reason why I doubled up on the infiltrators over there, was because of these 2 squads of Berserks. They are very strong in combat. My guys are not terrible in combat, but they're definitely not the quality of Berserks. Now, having the Dragoons over there, if I can pick up the Sagittars and put the guys on the table, having the Dragoons over there might be enough to help me tip the scale to deal with the Berserkers. We do still have a Hecaton and 5 Hearthguard there. Robots, hopefully, we'll see how it goes. Oh, and my Techno-Archaeologist, I forgot, he's hiding out in here. He's hiding in the building, just to keep a little bit of deep strike zoning from there and center, because I don't have much play on center. He might just run out in area denial or something. So, Lane, after all that, are you wishing to go first or second in this?
I can really go either way, I guess. I think going second in this mission, kill 1, kill more, is a lot of times better because you know how many units you need to kill to get the kill more and whether you need to push for it or not. So I guess I want to go second.
Yeah, I could see that, as well as for the hold more. You know how much you really need to dedicate to hold onto objectives. You know, if you can shoot something off an objective rather than holding it. So yeah, second is definitely very advantageous, and I would have to agree with your sentiment there. All right, let's roll. I got a 5, so
That's
it looks
you,
like
sir.
Mechanicus will be going first. Lane, you have some scout moves, so we'll knock those out and then begin the game. All right, Lane. So you did your scouts. What do you got?
Move this Sagittar forward a little bit. This one back a little bit. I couldn't get him really hidden, but at least I can get his tail end behind the cover. So if you do shoot at me, I'll get cover. This one's scooched over a little bit, so I'm going to get shot by those guys. And this one just moved forward a little bit. Now, I gave out my judgment tokens, as I do at the start of the game. I could have put some on some of these smaller units trying to pick up an easy kill in the first turn to get me more command points for my bonus. However, if I did that, I know DJ going first could just move them back and get them out of the way and hide them for a couple turns. So I decided to just drop them on the 4-man robot squads and 1 on each of the Onager Doom Crawlers, just because those would be the most difficult things for me to kill.
Nice. And also, I realized I lied. That wasn't the Techno-Archaeologist there. He's over here. I'm zoning out Deep Strike over on this side. So he's hiding over here, and he's probably going to try and boot scoot in there. All right, that's everything. Time for the AdMech turn 1. So, for my turn, the cards have blessed me with Assassinate. Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait. Didn't you say you had 3 characters. Where's the other?
No, there's only 2 characters. This is a.
Oh, okay. You don't have.
This is not here, champ. There's not a character in there.
Oh, okay.
So there's one in Deep Strike.
There is one in Deep Strike?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I was like, I thought there was. Wait, I was like, wait, isn't there another character missing? Wait, there he is. Oh, yeah, he's over there. Yeah, he's in Deep Strike. Okay. She is in Deep Strike. I apologize. And I also apologize for not being able to take them out, guys. Sorry. Turn 1 assassinate can be rough. The other one was engage on all fronts, which, try as I may, there's no way I'm getting over into this corner. I checked all the measurements. There's no way for it to happen. So instead, I moved my Techno-Archaeologist right up tightly into this corner. So that'll zone out some Deep Strike, at least over here on this objective. Move these robots up to start to be in a good position to make attacks on that objective marker later on. Call is going to stay with the Shroud Psalm, so he's going to get cover to all these units around. And we are in the heavy Doctrina, so as long as we are within our deployment zone, we'll also have Armor Contempt. These robots moved up again. They're off the template, as you can tell here. But they are still able to point onto that objective, which is probably going to be where the firefight's going to go. Dragoons moved up for later in the game. And the only way I was able to get a little bit of points on engage on all fronts was to move up here and charge with the infiltrators on the Sagittar. We got a whole wound through on it. And he wasn't happy, and he did a wound back. That Sagittar is not my friend. All right. Well, that is it for my turn because I really didn't want to over-dedicate because, well, and that too.
Yeah, there's a lot that's going to come out.
Yeah. I'd rather them come out first because their guns are kind of bigger than most of mine. All right. Over to Lane and his turn 1 with the Votann.
For this turn, the mighty Votann pulled Extend Battle Lines and Cleanse. Pretty good for a first turn here. So these little guys are going to scooch onto the objective here so that they can cleanse and also have extended my battle lines. Good job, little guys. Now, the way we're playing this terrain is that once you're in this small piece, you can be seen. So that guy can get shot.
True line of sight. Line of sight, yeah.
However, I put the other models back here. So if he does start shooting at this unit, I can pick up this one, and then the rest of the guys won't be able to see. Now, obviously, all the attacks from a single unit will get to go through, but I might be able to keep 1 or 2 of these guys alive after a shooting attack by pulling models that are invisibility. So, other than that, I didn't move these guys forward. Actually, I'm going to move him forward a little bit.
Wiggle the buggy.
There we go. I could have tried to put him out here and position him to shoot down there. However, we've got some punchy robots inside this building that will come out and start doing some punching. This Sagittar just disgorged its little guys so they can sticky this objective. And these 2 just pulled up so they can take shots downtown at those robots there. Got to start whittling down these robots. The Berserks got out. Because we're playing kill 1, kill more, if I get this kill on turn 1, it gives me 8 primary points, which is a huge swing. So I got to make sure that I kill these guys here. So we're going to do some shooting, and then we'll be back. So we did a little shooting. The Hecaton and the Sagittar. The Hecaton put its bolt cannons into the infiltrators that were here, failed to do any damage, just rolled a bunch of 1s and 2s. They're neg to hit, so I would be hitting them on 5s anyways because they don't have judgment tokens. The neg to hit stealth is very tricky for Votann because if I don't have judgment tokens, I end up hitting on 5s, which is a bummer. So anyways, failed to do any damage to them in shooting, but we did shoot down here and pick up 1 of the robots with enough lasers going in there that we didn't make it happen. And then the Berserks did charge in here and finish off the infiltrators down to the man. So that's a big turn for me because I got Extend Battle Lines for 5, Cleanse for 3, and then I get 8 points on primary because I killed 1, but it was also more than what DJ killed in his turn. So strong first turn for the Votann. Let's see how the AdMech respond.
So it's looking like secure no man's land as well as bring it down. So Lane's got a few vehicles, so we have options. A couple good ones, but yeah, we'll see. Let's talk business. So we did a lot of moving this turn because Lane didn't come out to play, so I guess I have to go to him. So these robots came out. And again, because of the way the terrain is set up and how we're using the terrain, I'm able to get a 9-inch charge on that Sagittar. so I did not advance with them. I just put them in position. And a little bit of extra firepower, too, to potentially go into stuff. Yay. These robots moved over here, flat against the wall. This way they can shoot and try and pick up that entire squad. Even though we've now taken this objective with this Dune Crawler. This Dune Crawler that went trucking.
Tell me about how far he moved, DJ.
This Dune Crawler moved like 18 inches. So I spent a CP on the stratagem that gave me +3 to the move characteristic. Then I rolled its advance and got like a 6. Then it gets +1 to its advance. Move this boy all the way over here on this objective. I also spent a command point on it to allow it to be in both Doctrina. So now it has assault weapons, it has heavy weapons, but those don't matter. It matters for the assault and the bonus AP for shooting at units that are within my opponent's deployment zone, their territory. So that's where he's going to be. He's going to be going and trying to take that objective. I also chose to repair him with the engine sear to give him the 5-up feel no pain, since, well, he's running out there. He's a part of it. Call moved into a better position. Now, I know Call's not on a base. That's because the base got eaten by a dog. Working on that. But he is within 6 inches of these robots. This Dune Crawler. These robots over the wall that lost one, sadly. Sadly, we got to avenge hit them. But not this Dune Crawler. But this Dune Crawler sat still, so it could take advantage of the heavy bonus. Over here, for the secure no man's land, we did move the infiltrators up to tag the objective, and then move these Dragoons out. They have advance and charge. They advanced, so they're in position to charge Berserks. And something else over here if we hit something else over here. So that's about it. Whew, a lot of stuff. The only other things are we are change Call over, so he is going to give reroll 1s to hit 2 of those units. And these robots changed over into the shooting protocol, so now they get +2 shots when shooting downfield all the way over here. Oh, and they also sat still, so they're going to get the heavy boost too to be hitting on 3s. All right, let's roll some dice and see if I can't do some damage. So for the points, I did what I need to do so far. For the game terms, not so much. We've really rolled really stinky on a lot of this stuff. So point-wise, we were able to get these guys off the objective, so at least secure no man's land is now ours. However, that's where it stopped. Even when I shot into him with all the robots, ignore cover and everything like that, the dice were absolutely ugly. Same for him, sadly. Hit with both, couldn't wound with both. Even though the high AP and everything else, he still has 6 wounds left. This little Sagitar, I hit him with a shot back here. So of course he was the one who did it. Where it was like, oh, yay. Oh, over here, these robots also were not really able to do the damage. They did a little bit of work into them, but then it was the Dune Crawler who hit home, putting him down to 2 wounds. So I guess the Dragoon, that's where he's going to have to charge an impact. Yeah, that's about it. So we're going to go and do some charges and hopefully pick some stuff up in the fighting. Charge over here was unsuccessful. Weren't able to get in and no CP for a reroll. Hopefully, I'm banking on the fact that I get some rolls later in the game. I used the stratagems, 2 stratagems on this Dune Crawler with the hopes that broad spectrum data chatter was going to give me a CP back. No dice, figuratively and literally speaking. So we failed to charge with the robots. Then over here, we did succeed with the Dragoon in making its charge and finishing off the Sagitar, so we got those points for Bring It Down. 3 points on it. And then we charged over here, did not even do a single damage, not even a single wound.
I did a wound, but I spiked my 5.
Yeah, that was going to say. Then feel no
pain. And felt no pain.
And then cracked me back, dropped me down to 2. Ouchie. So, dice, rough turn for me. Let's hope that Lane sees the same luck I had and pass it over to the Votann and their turn too.
All right. Overwhelming force and assassinate are what we pulled. So we got to kill things that are on objectives. I don't think I'm going to kill him. Get that 4-up embalm. He can definitely stick around for a while.
5 feel no pain, 2-up save.
Yeah, I don't like any of that. So all these guys here are going to put their shots down into this squad here. If we can pick up, it's just 2 robots and then the character. So if we can shoot through the 2 robots and get the character, that'll get us assassinate. Then this Hecaton fell back a little bit. Just so he can be outside of 12 to get his extra shots with his sustained D3. And then the Berserks just stay here. We're just going to keep punching. This Sagittar might shoot him and maybe finish him off. We'll see what happens. And these Berserks move forward.
And I overwatched them.
And DJ overwatched, but
and
didn't.
I cannot buy a bucket.
I was not able to. I spiked my 5-up. Feel no pains again and only took 1 wound on those guys. So they're going to go for the infiltrators there, see if we can mess those guys up. So I'll do some shooting and then we'll be back. Not enough shooting. You know, these robots are tough to kill. So I put everything from these guys and also this Sagittar all in here. Now, they didn't have any judgment tokens, so everything was just hitting on 4s. So failed to kill the whole squad. Did pick up 1 of the robots, which is nice, but that was it. Now, I did the Vulcanite guns here. I just absolutely bombed on rolling 6s. Even though I was getting rerolls because the Hecaton shot at first, rerolls of wounds just failed to do. I think I did 1 devastating wound through all 15 shots that they had. I even spent a CP to do the sustained thing. So wasn't enough. Wasn't able to finish him off.
And I did a mortal wound to the Hecaton.
He did. The Hecaton has taken a wound because he rolled a 6 on one of his saves. Yeah. This Sagittar took 1 as well.
Yeah. So it has begun.
We did manage to shoot apart that Dragoon.
Yeah.
Failed to hit this Dragoon with the Sagittar here.
SP conversion beamer.
So we're just going to have to fight. These Berserks are going to charge these guys here, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so in the fight phase, my Berserks did not do very much damage here to the Infiltrators. We made the charge in, but just had some real low rolls, lots of 1s and 2s. So I only killed 2 of them, and they slapped back and picked up 3 of my Berserks here. And these Berserks here did finish the Dragoon off. He only had 2 wounds left, so we managed to finish him off. That gives me 2 kills for the turn. And DJ had 1, so I got 12 on primaries. He got 8 on primaries for this turn. I only had 3 on secondaries, though, because I only killed 1 unit that was on objective for overwhelming force and didn't pull Assassinate. I'm going to discard Assassinate. I don't want to hold on to that one. So we'll see what DJ does on his turn.
So we're looking at no prisoners and behind enemy lines. So behind enemy lines is going to be a little tough, but we're in position. We can make some pushes. We're just really going to have to move through it. And that's going to be over here. I think most likely that's going to be a CP that I generate. I'm just not quite far enough along to be able to get in there. But we are going to try and do some charges after we shoot. So this Dragoon moved up, getting into a position to be able to charge something and hopefully finish it off. I spent a command point on this 4-man squad of robots. They are moving an additional 3 inches, and they got +1 to their advance and charge. Didn't advance with them, but I will be charging with them. Move this little character out. I wanted to zone out because I didn't want Lane to bring the Hearthguard in over here. Since I'm starting to clear and starting to get some kind of control over this objective, I would rather, just kind of keep that. Stoomcrawler stayed still just so we get the heavy bonus and start shooting downfield. He's still within 6 inches of call. Call's hanging out on the other side of this building right over there. Oh, no. There he is. Found him.
There he is.
So he'll be given reroll 1s to hit, so hopefully that'll be enough to finish off the Sagittar. Right over there, just so we can take that thing out. It'll help us for no prisoners as well. And then, like I said, both these robots are ready to go whooping and walloping right over up in here, all in Lane's face. All the way down over here, though, we move this Doomcrawler in position to be able to shoot at that Sagittar, but I think it's going to have a change of plans. Since Lane decided rapiding, ingressing this big old brick of Terminators right here. So we got 10 of the Hearthguard Terminator, the Hearthguard little baby Termies back here on a rapid ingress. And I also do have my Castellan robots that are looking to size them up and shoot them down. But one thing that's kind of fancy is that neutron laser has blast.
I forgot about the blast.
So that's a couple extra shots with high damage that I could very, very nicely pick up some of these guys early on as long as I take out the Sagittar. Now, I did fall back with the with these guys, because even though I got lucky and proc some 6s on their tasers to pick up the berserks, I'm not going to chance that twice. So instead, we have things like the Cognis Stubber on this thing that can probably shoot in there and try and finish them off if that needs to go down. But this all starts with this Sagittar has got to go from something over here. We got a couple of options because a couple of things can't really shoot at anything else. So we do have some spray to go into it, and it's only got 5 wounds left. So, all right, let's see if it can be done. Well, this is going to be a problem. So these Hearthguard are still, I think I took 2 of them out of there. 2 of them out and damaged 1 of them.
Nope, just 1. You picked up 1 with the big laser, the neutron laser.
Neutron laser did do well. Was able to shoot that over there, and he did pick up at least the 1. And after the Void Armor, I realized the robots were going to really be worse for wear trying to take these guys out. So I continued with the original plan and made sure to remove these Berserks to take them up. So there was nobody on that objective at that time. Now, there is another squad of Berserks over here that's going to come in there and do stuff, but at least that squad has to actually go in there and do stuff. Over here, we were able to pick up the Sagittar quite easily. And we did put a laser into the Hecaton, so at least we did a little bit of damage to it. I was trying to go for a bigger hit since I was able to put the laser on that and just take the Sagittar out with all the shrapnel sprayed fire. So now that's left is to charge. We got some good, we're in some good position to charge over here. And we're going to try and hit and see if we can't do some damage and start removing some stuff in this corner to kind of turn this game into a hammer and anvil from this point. All right, time to charge. Okay, so charging was very, no pun intended, impacting. No CP for the tank shock, but none needed. So this little robot here finished off the Sagittar, which allowed me to then consolidate with the robots. Pile in. Consolidate? Pile in first.
Pile in is before the fight. Yeah, consolidate is after.
That's it. Pile in to the Hecaton. And man, they were very angry. So many hits, like honestly, even on 4s, just absolute brutality. Ripped the Hecaton to shreds, literally, with their fists. So Hecaton, gone. Sagittar, gone. Dragoon, gone. Hearthguard, still there. But now they have a whole slew of robots to deal with. And then that's it for the combat over here. So for the turn, I do get 5 on no prisoners. I pitched behind enemy lines for a command point, and we're going to pass it over to Lane to see how he answers back.
DJ did have 4 kills.
I do have 4 kills.
I got 1. Yeah, I got 1 because I slapped the Dragoon back and finished him off with the Hearthguard. So I got to get 3 kills to match him in my turn, or 4 to beat him on kill more. So let's see what happens. The Votann are going to try to secure no man's land and storm a hostile objective. So right here, these guys moved forward so they can charge in here, make a charge, and consolidate onto the objective. I just need that thing to go away. We'll see if it actually goes away or not, depending on the shooting from down here. These guys stood still and were battle shocked, but they do have a Magna Rail, so maybe we'll get a lucky hit on these guys. Maybe the Magna Rail will do something. This Sagittar moved, this Hecaton moved forward, and the Hearthguard got out, so they can also shoot down here. The Berserks moved forward, and the Sagittar moved forward. Berserk's going to charge these kiddos right here, these infiltrators, and these Hearthguard marched forward to tangle with these 2 units here. Now DJ did Overwatch and pick up 1 of them, so I am down to 8 of the Hearthguard plus the Einherjar champion. So we're going to do some shooting and then be right back. Just couldn't do any damage with shooting here, guys. I was hoping to kill some more units in this, but it's not happening.
Well, I lost a robot.
Yeah, one of these robots died. The Magna Rail worked, it went through, and then the Volkites picked up the rest of that guy's wound.
Very sad moment.
So the Hecaton and these guys, Hearthguard shot into the Onager, just barely anything.
I smoked.
He popped smoke, and I just rolled terrible on my day, so he's still got 8 wounds left. You know, all the grenades from the Hearthguard when this guy couldn't kill him. He should have been an easy kill. But
turns out he's got a 3-up save and a 5-up invul. 3 wounds, but
you never know with these guys.
He's got the armor of a space marine.
Still feeling good about my number of kills I can get though in the charge phase. So we'll see if we can charge something here. So I'm going to roll some charges and then we'll be back. All right, didn't go as well as I wanted. I did go in here with this squad, picked up the last robot from that squad and the data smith. So that was 2 kills there. The Hearthguard made it in here and did pick up a couple of the robots, but weren't able to finish the squad, so no kills. And these Berserks failed their charge here. They needed like a 5 on the dice, and I CP re-rolled it, and they couldn't make it in there. So I didn't get secure No Man's Land. I did get Storm Hostile Objective for over here. So 5 points on secondary, but DJ has a huge turn for primaries because he held more at the beginning of the turn and he had more kills. He had 4 kills this turn and I had 3 kills this turn. So on to his turn.
So this is going to be a difficult roundabout turn, but not an impossible one. So I have extend battle lines as well as capture enemy outpost. So I spent a command point to let these robots get that extra move again, as well as the charge. But the big story is going to be, how do we remove the Hecaton? Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. So I do have some weapons to do so with, and we'll kind of see how this all plays out, because we do have this guy right here. And if I really wanted to, I could spend a command point and go full reroll, since he's damaged and a vehicle, to try and finish off that Hecaton, but that's kind of a long shot there. So we'll see. I got a couple of options. I do hold this objectives, which is good for extend battle lines. Afterwards, doesn't really matter what happens to it. I'll get my points off it and move on, especially if I can take that lane's home field objective. Now, over here is pretty messy. So we left the Doom Crawler to sit still so we can take the benefit of heavy. We did fall back with the robots, had the desperate breakout so we could make some space because Santa Call is coming to town. He's got a bunch of different weird attack profiles. I'm just going to hope that some of them can hit home and we can do something with them. And then this Doomcrawler here, he's kind of got some options. He can shoot at these guys. He's still got that blast, so he'd get 3 shots into them, which is a very possible option. He could shoot down here to try to slow up this progress, but I kind of feel like that's going to be a waste. And we'll see. I think it's just really all comes down to do everything I can to remove these guys, including the fact that I know here's where Void Armor is going, but, you know, Lane's going to have to make some choices. Void Armor here or Void Armor the Hecaton. Then we also brought the Infiltrators over here, got 3 of them left. They'll probably end up trying to make a charge over here. Worst case scenario, best case scenario, they get closer and maybe can provide me some extra objective control value, especially when I go and charge Call in, because that's right. Like I said, Call's coming to do some work. But first, we get to shoot. So, all right, time to do some shooting. So close, but yet still so far. So I had a plan, and that plan did involve the lengthy goal of trying to remove this Hecaton. Didn't quite happen. So now we're going to charge in.
It's down to 6 wounds.
It is down to 6. It did a lot of damage to it. So these robots are going to charge in and rush. And if you're wondering how they got through the wall, it's because of the gap and opening there that's movable for that because it's 2 inch tall. Sorry. So we're going to charge, and I'm going to have to charge into these little guys, and then I have to pile in and get in that. But I don't think that's going to be enough OC for me to take that objective marker away. Oh, I'm gonna have to do some thinking. I might have to try and charge the Hecaton too, because I think I have to. I think the Hecaton has to go away. Otherwise, I cannot take the objective. Got to do a little math. Over here, we did shoot and we got close, but unfortunately, again, not able to take them out. Now, the other thing is we do need to try to take our home field objective, as we did a little bit of work. We got the squad down to 6 guys and a character. So that was good. And that definitely was not from Belzerius Call. No, that was the Doomcrawler's Stubbers. The Stubbers did more damage than anything else. More damage than his Melta weapon. More damage than his cannon. More damage and their pistols, not surprising. The stubbers.
Yeah, the MVP was the neg 1 to wound because they're led by a character, because Call and the big neutron laser both rolled 2s to wound, I think. 1s
Okay,
and 2s
yeah,
to
I
wound.
also rolled like the number of shots on blast. It was atrocious. So, all right, now it's going to be doing some charges because we need to remove a little bit more from this in order to take the objective back. So, all right, time to do some charging. All right, so sadly was not able to even pick up a kill, really. The robots made their charge, but just fell short, left the hecaton at 2 wounds. And my take shot was absolutely terrible on these guys. 14 dice and I did 1 mortal, so that was a sad moment. Over here, I wasn't able to do any damage due to the void armor, was just a little too much, but just the size of the objective control of the units, it was also too much for the Hearthguard to actually clear. So I was able to take back my home field objective, which will give me a 5 on extend battle lines. And I was strongly debating whether I wanted to keep capture enemy outpost or not. I don't feel like I feel like that's going to get me into a trap later on. And I just need to play into the mission on that one. And hopefully maybe I can pick up a kill for the turn since I haven't yet. All right. Well, that's it for my turn. Over to Lane and his Votann.
Both investigate signals and engage in all the fronts. So, not going to be able to engage. We'll be able to investigate signals here with these guys who passed their battle shock valiantly. And with this Sagittar here. I tried to advance these guys. They didn't quite make it far enough to get engage here. So, probably won't get engage. I spent 1 CP for these guys to fall back and shoot. DJ overwatched with the onager and got 2 6s. 2 6s. Killed 2 guys. Wild. Which is way better than the onagers have done during their actual shooting phases, I believe.
Right.
So, yeah,
well,
I'm going to do some shooting.
Against the Sagittars, I was okay. Against the Sagittars, I was able to hit them pretty decent. But everything else, no.
All right, so we're going to do some shooting. So shooting didn't do a whole lot. Did a couple wounds to this robot, but he bounced a mortal back on the hecaton. So the hecaton is down to 1.
I love that. Love that. Every time I make a 6 on an armor save, mortal wound back at the target. No. Even artillery.
Yeah, so I really just chiseled a few wounds off here, a few here. The Overwatch really limited by losing 2 guys. It really changed my efficiency here. Did a couple wounds to that onager. So, all right, we're going to do some charges. See if we can get a couple kills. Okay, a brutal turn. Felt brutal. Not a whole lot of damage being done. I did end up with 2 kills this total turn because I did finish off this Dune Crawler here. Failed to pick up this little character guy. Here we were duking it out, but there's 1 Hearthguard left from this squad, and the Hecaton survived, even though he has only got 1 wound left. And then here, DJ did some work into me more than I did into him. I charged, got the Doom Crawler down to 2 wounds, but failed to finish him off in the fight phase. The Impact Mortals took 3 off of him, but I just couldn't. Each imp whiffed, the other guy whiffed. Did a couple wounds to Call, but didn't really matter much. So I do score 12 in primary this turn because I held 1 and I did kill more. DJ held 1, but did not have any kills. So kind of a big swing there. I only scored 4 on secondaries because of investigate signals. Didn't engage all fronts. I'm going to dispose of engage all fronts. On to DJ's turn.
Cleanse and overwhelming force is how I'm going to finish out the game. So we spent a command point on a strat. First of all, passed battle shock. Healed him, so now he's got to feel no pain as well. And spent a command point on a strat that allows me to fall back, still shoot, ignore all modifiers and everything else. So these guys who want to modify my statistics and do all that stuff, not today, Junior. We did also have to fall back with Call, though, because that meant that we would not be able to shoot at the squad. And then we do still have a robot here ready to shoot and get crazy with it. So that's what we're doing over here. Now, I don't see much for Cleanse, but I definitely can do some overwhelming force. We got 1 last guy over here, and the Hecaton's at 1 wound, and we got robots. And I spent a command point, so until for the strat that allows this unit to reroll all hits until the start of my next command phase. So that's what we're going with. That's what's happening. Let's do some shooting. Forces were overwhelmed. So shooting-wise, not really too much. The Dune Crawler did good. He was able to hit and, take out a couple of those guys, especially with the ignoring all the modifiers on his laser. So that was nice. The big thing was the charges. Just it was basically one guy kills one, another one kills one. Engine Seer just really whooped on the E-Champ. I mean, when the E-Champ rolls up 4 or 5 ones for its save, yeah, it's going to happen, especially since he's angry. Over here, the strat to re-roll everything was helpful. I finished off the Hearthguard, but was not able to pick up the Hecaton. So I couldn't just charge into the little dudes over there that I wanted to, but we did punch the Hecaton into oblivion, taking the objective marker at the end of the turn. Doesn't really matter too much, except for the fact of the kills and the, being able to pick up 3 units for kills. But Lane did finish off my little techno-archaeologist. So I will gain the 1. I will score 5 and pass it over to Lane in his final turn.
Final turn, turn 5. My secondaries are defend, stronghold, and no prisoners. So I kind of just played through the whole turn here because there wasn't a whole lot going on. We did move these guys onto the objective. The Hearthgame Warriors are OC2. DJ did overwatch one of them away, but they survived and outnumbered him here. We tried shooting with all the other stuff we have, everything from the Magna Rail to the Sagittar to these Hearthguard here. Couldn't quite pick him up for a no prisoners kill. I did get a kill for this turn because I killed the character that these guys were engaged with on DJ's turn in the fight phase. So it does give me a kill still, and I do have hold more because I controlled this one, and I controlled that one, and that one. So knew this was going to be a close one. So final score for this game, AdMech
76.
AdMech 76 to the Votann 83. Really close game. I knew it was going to be a slugfest. And there were definitely a lot of turns when neither of us killed as much as we thought we were, and then sometimes when we pushed and killed more, so it was really hard to tell what was going to happen each turn. So follow us over to the post-game, guys, and we'll talk about how everything went. But final score, again, AdMech 76, Votann 83.